Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox, and woke up this morning looking at the news, read some articles, saw some pictures, saw some video of the riot that took place in Maryland, Baltimore, right, last night. Nominally about another guy who got killed by the police. I guess he was black. I didn't know that. Maybe I'll do another video on screen tests that police do, because to me, it's starting to look like that's how the guy got killed. But another video for another time. Man, just so many things I want to go, and it's kind of, this video is kind of fraught with danger, you know. Those of you who know me, right? I am not racist. Am I biased? Sure, everybody's biased, right? We all have biases that we bring to the table, but I'm certainly not a racist by any sense, any means or anything. But some of the things I'm going to say could be twisted out, and, you know, the comment people will go crazy on them. Okay, be that as it may. All right, so I'm looking at these pictures, and of course they're pictures on the news because they're dramatic. You know, 10,000 pictures are taken and 10 get put up. Why? Because they're trying to sell a story. But every picture I saw was of black young people assaulting white people. Now, why is that? Were there blacks assaulting blacks in the riot? Probably not so much. In reality, oh heck yes. More blacks, and I use term black and white, all right? So get over it if you don't like it. More blacks, far more blacks, are killed by blacks than by whites, cops or otherwise, right? Blacks kill themselves in great numbers. More blacks are killed by blacks than whites are killed by whites. More whites are killed by blacks than whites are killed by whites. Those are statistics that they may be uncomfortable to some people, but it is the truth. It is what it is. And so, you know, we just got to deal with that. But the pictures were of black people assaulting white people, and two in particular that are on Drudge this morning. And by the time you see this, they probably won't be on Drudge anymore. Two white people who just don't have a clue how to defend themselves, how to do self-defense. I mean, the body posture is just terrible. And, you know, this isn't going to be a tutorial on that. My camera keeps slipping down. But y'all, everybody, you know, whether yellow, black, or white, y'all need to, let me just fix this camera a little bit. Y'all need to get some training in self-defense and how to handle yourself, because, wow. It was terrible. I saw a bunch of people getting ready to get socked. Right? And it's like, come on, guys. I saw the video. It was on RT of, I guess, a producer or somebody gets robbed. And, you know, she's crying and she gets robbed by a group of people on camera. Okay, they were criminals. All right, so there's that. She was stupid. All right, she's sitting there obviously filming with some kind of camera, because I saw it in the shadow, so it's a big camera with a light on it. And what does that do? It's like flies to a porch light, right? I mean, or mosquitoes, you know. That she starts drawing people to her, and they're all like, yeah, and they're dancing and prancing and, you know, doing their thug life stuff. They're just kids, right? They really are just kids. Well, the crowd starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then somebody grabs her purse or something and runs, right? And then she starts crying and chasing them, and the cops tackle the guy, you know, whatever. How about some common sense, which she was not using, which does not mean it's her fault. Somebody stole her stuff, but wow. When you start drawing a crowd of people that are acting crazy, you probably need to stop doing what you're doing, right? Mob mentality, it's worth doing some reading on it. Mobs take on a mentality of their own, and inhibitions are lowered greatly, and then bad things happen. I'll just go there. There's a place, I'm up in Kansas City area right now, and there's a place called The Legends. And they have theaters there, and my wife and I, when we used to live here, would go out there and go to the movie. And I started going to the movies in the daytime because during the daytime, it's in an affluent part of Kansas City. During the daytime, it's nice. And, you know, kids are walking around with their parents and they're playing in the fountains, and there's couples strolling around holding hands. And it's a nice, calm scene. And when it gets dark, it changes. And a bunch of teenagers come out, most of whom happen to be black. And they're moving around in groups of people, And have I ever seen anything violent happen? I have not. I talked to a guy who worked with police officers in that area, and he said violence did happen there, but they kept it on the down low because they didn't want to scare people away. But around this time, there started to be the knockout game, and I'm very interested in sucker punches, and so I was doing some research on that and reading it. And there's pre-attack cues and things like that, and I was looking at it, and then I was looking at the people they were targeting, and they're like, and I'm talking about the criminals, the thugs. They're like, any kind of predator. You watch an African animal show, they prey on the weak and the old. And, Pastor Joe doesn't look like some young buck anymore. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm a potential target. Okay, well, I know how to fight. So you're going to fight 15-year-olds there, Pastor Joe? Probably not successfully, right? So I always carry a firearm everywhere. And then I thought, well, how's that going to look? I get surrounded by a group of thugs, and all of a sudden, I start taking shots here, there, and everywhere. Here, self-defense 101, you can't go down to the ground. If I go down to the ground, the boots start happening to my head, and what's going to happen to my wife or daughter or whatever. And so at some point, this ain't working. And so the gun comes out, right? Well, how's that look? White former special forces guy shoots black teenager in the chest and kills him. Because that's how it would play out, right? Why didn't you use your hand-to-hand combat skills there, Joe, Mr. Fox? and so it's like, wow, what am I going to do about that? Well, number one, I'm going to try and mitigate the problem by not being where problems happen, right? So we quit going to the Legends at night. But sometimes we'd go to a movie, like in the wintertime at 4 in the afternoon, and when you come out, it's dark and it's starting to look a little sketchy. Again, nothing bad ever happened there, but I'm always thinking ahead. And so what I started carrying was a big can of pepper spray, Fox pepper spray. And so, my mind process is you get surrounded by a group of kids, you start with your with your verbals, your presence, hey, back up. You verbalize that, you yell at probably people will start filming. And then, when the people close in and they don't back up, you just pepper spray a whole group of people, which in the continuum of force, I used to train law enforcement, is between verbal and soft hands, right? Pepper spray is considered a very much non-lethal kind of thing. And so then if they come through the pepper spray, that's an escalation that they're escalating. I don't know. The best thing is to avoid it. But that's what I recommend to people is carry pepper spray with your firearm if you're going to be surrounded by people like that. There may be a time when you can use that and de-escalate the situation. Don't go where bad things happen. When you see, I was watching video and looking at pictures of the riot in Baltimore. I guess it was right around the time of a baseball game, right? And so there's a lot of mostly white people sitting in these outside street bars, nice bars, brick-fronted nice bars, drinking, 1,000 beers before or after the game. And then this riot starts happening. First there's a peaceful protest, Black Lives Matter, hey, all lives matter. Going down the street, and then it turns violent very quickly. What should they have done? It's just sad to say, but the way things are going anymore, if you see a large group of black protesters and you're white, you probably don't want to be there. Probably need to leave. Pay your bar tab and move out. First-hand reports, car coming in, just drives around the corner. Oops, riot's going on. Here I am. Car gets surrounded. It was some overweight, middle-aged white lady and her family in the car. Crowd surrounds them. The crowd happens to be black. They start banging on her car and stuff like that. And then they end up opening up her back door and reaching in and grabbing stuff. And I guess she backed up and got out of there. Lessons learned there. Keep your doors locked, number one. Number two, your vehicle is a weapon, right? It's a multi-thousand-pound weapon. People can't stop your car with their body, not typically. And, you probably would not be in too much trouble for running over people who got in your way, who are standing in your way on purpose, all right? Things to think about. this lady probably wasn't driving to where the riot was. She was probably trying to get somewhere and just happened upon it. And so that's no good. Situational awareness, though, is important. Minding your P's and Q's, having backup plans. One of these days, these rioters who are mostly unarmed, but still violent, they're punching people and breaking stuff and dragging people out of cars. They're going to hit the wrong car. They're going to hit a car of shofarians where everybody, including the women, are armed. I mean, bad things are just going to look like a porcupine coming out of that car. Look at that. You say that laughing. Yeah, whatever. Get over yourself. It's going to happen, right? There is a problem with racial tension in the cities of this country. Move out of the city, there's no problem with it. There are blacks, whites, and yellows and browns, if you just want to stick with colors, who live in my part of the Ozarks. There's no riots. There's not going to be any riots, and everybody gets along. Some people stick to themselves and whatever, but there's no violence, right? There's no racial violence going on. It is what it is, whether you're yellow, white, black, or brown, whatever color, race, creed you are, living in a place where there is inner city is bad. And if it's close to you, it's bad, and you shouldn't live there, no matter who you are. Because like I said, blacks kill more blacks than any other color. Right, so it's just not good. Don't live in those places. Move out. Learn how to defend yourself. Have some situational awareness. Avoid the mobs. Don't start taking pictures of the mobs. When you see a mob form, you need to move out. You need to get the heck out of Dodge, because mobs don't think right. And like I said, the inhibitions come down. And even if you successfully deal with the problem, your problems are just starting. You pepper spray a group of people, you're going to court. You're probably getting thrown in jail. Whatever. Better tried by 12 than carried by 6. Yeah, I'd rather just avoid the whole thing altogether. Don't be there. I don't go where crowds are. There's a reason for that. I don't go out a whole lot at night anymore. There's a reason for that. You're a coward. No, I'm not. I'm smart. I don't want problems. I suggest you think about things also. And hey, man, if you live in those cities, get out. I have a lot of brothers and sisters, saints, who live in Kansas City that I know about. Y'all need to move. You need to move. Get up and move. Come down to the Ozarks, brothers and sisters. Come on down. We can start over there. Whatever job you have up here, you can get down there, or something similar. That I've told you this before. Get out of those cities. Move. The cities are going to burn. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Go into conspiracy theories if you want. Are they fomenting these riots and this strife? I think so. I absolutely think so, because order out of chaos, right? Look at the Malthusian dialectic, right? Isn't that what it's called? Malthusian dialectic? I think that's what it's called. What is it? See, now I'm messing up the video. Something synthesis, antithesis, synthesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. There you go. Problem, reaction, solution. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's happening. We have chaos, gives us an excuse to have more order and more control. And that's what they want. They want to control everybody. All right, be careful, be aware, have a plan, get out of the cities. I'll see you out there.